Hello, you guys. Welcome to my channel, All Things Militia, where I discuss a lot about what's going on in the political world and also topics that pertain to everyday life in general. This is me coming back again for part two of the video regarding the 2020 election being stolen. This has now been confirmed by the FBI. You have the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, on record saying that there will be arrests coming soon, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. And it's interesting that he just was targeted by the media. They came out with some story on him being drunk somewhere or something. And I just noticed how the media always tries to get ahead of things when something is about to, burst forth. Like even in the 2020 election, when that laptop from hell, Hunter Biden, the former corrupt senile president's crackhead son, was found at somewhere, a store or something, and all this information leaked where you had him on videotape smoking crack, being with prostitutes, doing all types of gross things. But the media ran cover saying that it was Russia disinformation. And there were also 51 intelligence agents that signed off stating that it was Russia disinformation. And they did everything that they could to keep that story from coming out because they know if it had come out ahead of the 2020 election, it would furthermore prove, the corruption that was behind the 2020 election. But it was found that it was indeed not Russian disinformation. And then, once again, things went cricket. But let's get into this, you guys.
We're not going to allow. We are going to make arrests. It's coming. I promise you this is happening soon. Maybe this, ladies and gentlemen, is why they are going after Kash Patel so harshly. Here we go.
Because every time I see President Trump, he says this repeatedly, that the election was rigged in 2020. I mean, he says it all the time. We all know that. And it's almost getting lost because he says it so much. You've been at the FBI now 14 months. Have you done anything about that? And do you have anything to tell us about that?
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to record, just hit red to capture high quality.
Absolutely, Maria. Look, I've been with the president nearly since day one on this. As I told you earlier, I was the one that led the effort with folks like Trey Gowdy, Johnny Ratcliffe, and Devin Nunes to expose the corruption that tried to thwart President Trump's first presidential election run. And we saw the FISA abuses there. And I lived through it, and the media came at me then, too. That just shows you that when you're over the target, you keep pummeling the target because the media's going to try and pummel you. Yeah. We are not going to take this and have not taken this laying down. We did already indict former Director Comey, and that's going through the judicial process. But we also, at this FBI, even though we uncovered what we uncovered back in the House Intel days, I had to come in here and find rooms that they hid from the world. I had to come in here and find access on our computer systems in restricted and prohibited case files that they purposely put in places for no one to see and find. We have found all this information. We are working with our Department of Justice partners, and I am never going to let this go because they not only have personally attacked the presidency of the United States and President Trump, but they tried to thwart our elections and rig the entire system. And, and that is not something that is going to stop. That is not something I'm going to allow on my watch. But you just have to remember, they built this disease temple over 20 and 30 years. We've got all the evidence. I can announce on your show that we've got all the information we need. We're working with our prosecutors at the Department of Justice and their Attorney General Todd Blanche, and we are going to be making arrests. And it's coming, and I promise you, it's coming soon.
Well, I can't wait. I surely can't wait because that's what everybody is waiting for, arrest. When the Democrats was in office, they wasted no time targeting Republicans, trying to find something to put them in jail for because they couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy, you guys. And we still have yet to see one arrest, although we have witnessed all of this fraud and corruption. So hopefully we will see some arrests coming soon because it was indeed criminal what they did, not only to President Trump, but to the American people. And then tried to turn it around and put it on Trump and make it seem like he was the one trying to overthrow the government. Just crazy how the enemy works. Always try to accuse you of doing what they themselves have been guilty of doing. And they use their bought and paid for demonic media to push their agenda time and time again. And you still have many people that believe the bull crap. But let's go into this, you guys.
Fox News is learning FBI agents are on site at a Fulton County election office in Georgia, where they are conducting a search. David Spunt's got more details for us on this developing story. David?
Hi, Sandra. This is a satellite office for the Fulton County Elections Office. The FBI Atlanta press office confirming this, not giving many details, saying that the FBI is executing a court-authorized law enforcement action. No other details at this time, but we do know via sources a judge signed off on this warrant, allowing these agents, as you see them, enter this building to take items from the inside. Now, we're told that...
Get the fuck out of here. They really about to go after Fulton County? They really about to, like, go after, like, if they do this, you know this is going to reveal to the public and to the world that the 2020 election was, and you know, it's crazy because, remember, Fulton County just admitted not too long ago, they just admitted that they certified 315,000 illegal votes. 315,000. And Joe Biden only won Georgia by 11,779 votes. The math ain't mathing up.
The math ain't mathing, you guys. The math ain't mathing. Joe Biden won by 11,000, so they said, but they just found that there were over 300,000 illegal votes cast specifically in Fulton County, Georgia. You know, Georgia. And here you have the Fulton County GA District Attorney Fannie Willis, Big Willis. You know, they love to use these women of color, her, Letitia James, they use Alvin Bragg. They use a lot of, you know, what's her name? Jasmine Crockett. A lot of black people when it comes down to running their corruption. Other than that, you'll never see these people in the forefront. And you have black people that are ignorant enough to believe that in this country, a black person, I have to say it, can go after a white man, specifically a president, and no one's backing them, no one's putting them up to it. Give me a break. Let's hear what Big Fannie had to say. You know, this is a woman that's going through her own trials and tribulations now because she decided to bow the knee. Her sneaky leak is right over here. She was found to be giving him a lot of Georgia's tax dollars, you know, paying to play.
Thank you for joining us. I'm here with the prosecutors and investigators who have worked diligently on the investigation of criminal attempts to interfere in the administration of Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Today, based on information developed by that investigation, a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment, charging 19 individuals with violations of Georgia law arising from a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election in this state. The indictment includes 41 felony counts and is 97 pages long. Please remember that everyone charged in this bill of indictment.
Whoa. What's that? I
Here
just
we
built
go
a
with these
budgeting app from
commercials.
Base
I'm sorry,
24.
guys.
Nina just built an app.
Impossible. Is presumed innocent. Specifically, the indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump, Rudolph William Louis Giuliani,
Pretty much
John
all of
Charles
the people that
Eastman.
were privy to the fact that that election was stolen for the most part. All of the Republicans and right-wing people that knew that the election was stolen. And so you have the Democrats use their bought and paid for George Soros-funded attorney generals and DAs to go after President Trump. First time in the history of our country that a president had his home raided, had mugshots taken, had charges changed from a misdemeanor to a felony just to, you know, try to drum up things, drum up charges. to put it in the media to try to do everything that they could to keep him from winning, and he won in a landslide. So thank you guys for your service. Goodbye. Now, this was President Trump, because many people, on the liberal side was like, well, he made a phone call to Georgia asking for them to find more votes for him, as if he was trying to cheat. No, he did that phone call because he knew he had won, and he knew that there was some fraudulent activity going on in that county, specifically among many other counties. A lot of them swing states. Let's listen to a little bit of it, though.
It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said, there's no way. But they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brad. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently. But regardless of those votes, with all of it being said, we lost by essentially 11,000 votes. And we have many more votes already calculated and certified too. So I just don't know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things, but we don't need Dominion or anything else. We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. Having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated, because the 2,236 and absentee ballots, they're all exact numbers that were done by accounting firms, law firms, etc. And even if you cut them in half, and cut them in half again, it's more votes than we need.
And we knew, Mr. President, we know that's the reason why you were adamant about running again, so that you could get your rightfully place back as our president, your rightful place back as our president, after those crooks did everything they could from the beginning of him announcing that he was going to run for office. You had the media just go into a full frenzy, trying to find everything that they could about Trump that was, negative, even making up stuff. And that's pretty much what they did for the majority of it, making up stuff. And have ran it over a decade, still to this day, in overdrive for one man. We even heard more about Trump during the former installed president, Biden. We heard more about him during that term than we did about Biden. These people were so focused on keeping one man out of office because he wasn't a part of their corrupt establishment, and he was shaking things down like he's doing now. And now they're still adamant about trying to get him removed anyway, anyhow. And they're using Iran to do it. I believe that there are members within our own government that are behind this situation with Iran in our country right now. It's more so people from within, you guys, in my opinion, than from without, that is trying to destroy this country.
Well, we've also got some breaking news right now, so we want to check in with CBS's Mark Strassman. He is in Georgia, where they're having a big problem counting some of the votes. Mark?
They're having a problem. Now, this is back in 2020. And, reportedly in Georgia, during election night, a pipe burst. And after the pipe burst, conveniently, they stopped counting. At least publicly, they stopped counting. Let's continue.
Nora, this is an election return watch party here on the edge of Atlanta. These are mostly excited Democrats because when's the last time Georgia thought of itself as a battleground state? After a record early returns and essentially a day of problem-free voting, there is now a hitch in the tabulation of votes. I'm standing in Fulton County. Fulton County includes a chunk of Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta is State Farm Arena, where the Atlanta Hawks play. They are tabulating the absentee ballots of Fulton County, Georgia's most populous county. A water pipe has broken inside the arena. They counted 86,000 absentee ballots.
And look where Trump was when that happened. And I would say he was far more ahead than that. But he was ahead enough for them to have to hurry up and do something to catch up. That was with 23% in, they say. Let's continue.
Don't know how many more they have yet to tabulate, but all the tabulation of those ballots has now stopped. We're told by election officials they may not finish tabulating those votes for a day or two.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They're going to have to take some time because they have to find some votes to install this corrupt, senile man who ran for office years ago and was denied because of plagiarism. But all of a sudden, in his later senile years, he wins the most votes in the history of the country. And rarely did any press conferences, couldn't complete sentences, got lost while being led, couldn't find his way off of a darn stage. Give me a break. And everybody that wanted to believe that he was the rightful president was just brainwashed by the corrupt media and was just willing to go with anything that was against Trump. And here you have another blackface that they use to come out, talk about, the FBI when they just came with this criminal warrant on Fulton County 2020 ballots. They wanted to examine the ballots.
Now serving a criminal search warrant.
And who's the defendant?
And
the American people.
Search warrant is under seal.
Right.
So we don't even know who the target of the investigation is. This is nothing but sowing the seeds of distrust, right? This is a full frontal attack on democracy. This is a code red in America, in Fulton County. We've seen it in Minneapolis, and now we're seeing it here in Fulton County.
And you know what else we saw in Minneapolis? Thanks to Dick Shirley. Billions of dollars of our tax money being funneled through fake daycare businesses. That's what we saw in Minneapolis. And then, conveniently in Minneapolis, after that was exposed, the ICE shootings occurred. How convenient. A pipe burst in Fulton County in Georgia on election night that stopped the count, at least, publicly, like I said, because here you go right here, you guys. After they stopped the count publicly, this was going on during the night.
Doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question. So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math.
Yeah, and not only that, you guys, let me back it up a little bit.
Clock in the morning, and we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table.
So right after they shut down the count, publicly, then they had people going and taking out suitcases full of ballots out from under covered tables that they started counting throughout the night for the corrupt senile president.
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
I'm done, you guys. I'm done. For people that still don't get why President Trump had that January 6th protest to prove that the 2020 election was stolen, and then they wanted to turn it around on him and say that he tried to insurrect the government. No, he was trying to rightfully claim his win. That's what it was all about. That's the reason why they targeted everyone that went there. Many people at the Capitol were arrested that was just there, didn't do anything, but they were arrested without due process, sitting in jail for years without due process. Meanwhile, they allowed illegal immigrants to not even be arrested for the crimes for actual crimes that they committed. So yeah, this whole system is corrupt. I'll be glad when arrests are made. Like at first I was so upset about it, but then, when I heard a lady say, or, a few people actually say that, you know, sometimes things have to happen the way that they happen so that, you know, we can really see. Because sometimes it really takes, you know, proof for some people to see, because they can't, you know, it's not there. So we'll see what happens, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you later.